Good morning in morning, good evening in evening. Hello, my fellow Dub Tribers. Welcome in another episode of Dub Tribe podcast. I'm really happy to have you here. Thank you for giving me a chance and heads up that you'd like to listen our interviews in English and you would like to wait for the Polish version. So to all the Polish speakers, to all my Polish listeners, don't worry, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. It takes time because I first need to translate it, then send to the person who will be reading this translation to you in Polish, and then do all the stuff in order to make this complete and listenable. But be patient, it will be someday available for you to listen. But for now, I'm really happy to have you here thanks to higher meditation. Absolutely amazing person with amazing attitude, a lot of to say, and just to wrap it up and give you the chance to meet him in person almost. So sit tight, grab something to drink, grab something to eat, some snacks, and come on in, turn it on, make it louder, and have a nice time with us, me and higher meditation. So, listen. hello, all the Dub Tribers. We are here to record our new podcast interview. This time we are hosting Haya Meditation. Welcome.
Greetings. Thank you for inviting me for this podcast.
Thank you for your time, and thank you that you agreed to be our guest. Okay, we've got some small talk of the camera of the record. Could you tell me how your journey as a producer started? What were your first steps? You already mentioned something, so if we can get back to it as well.
I discovered like sound system dub music when I was 14, 15.
14, 15.
Yeah, I was a teenager. I was going out from like just childhood, and I through a friend, his father had like a massive collection of CDs, and he was always introducing us to new things and to reggae through Horace Andy or the Gladiators, and through dub music, but with by the French side in the beginning, like iTone, Cali Live Dub, Improvisator Dub, French live dub band were playing instrument on stage, and then we discovered that it became like a new world, because we were going to festival. Our parents were bringing us to event near or far, and it became kind of like something that the dub was something really important to me. It became like something to follow in my life. And then one day I was in my public library in my town, and they had like then books, and they had a whole floor was just dedicated to CDs and music. And I checked on them, in them CDs, like all the reggae section, and I found this album called Jah Warriors and Friends. And I took it just like to have a listen, and I discovered UK dub music through that with this album. And then song after song, I realized that it was like the perfect, mix of everything between like the drum, digital drum, and all the instrument, all the horns, and the mixing on the top of that was bringing me. And then I discovered ganja at the same time. Then it was kind of rediscovering life. It was a mad thing. And through at this period, we had email, we could download music, pirate. Then how we could, because I was so young, I didn't know. Then I started to put the name and discover like more names, like Abba Shantia, like UCP, like Alpha and Omega. And then we discovered a sound system called WVT, who was like from like the next town. We were from a little town called Bayeux, and you had Caen,
in France.
In Normandy basically. And we went to one of them sessions, but who was at this period you couldn't find in downtown, in town. It was in village. You had to travel all over like the region in the countryside to find this 350 like people village, and finding this like council room that were made for reception, like more like weddings and things like that. And then you would have session. It would be like really like small thing. It was the beginning. It was the first step.
When it was
2004. 2004,
so almost 20 years ago.
I'm 34 years old
really
now. It's a long journey basically. Then we discovered then this night, and we were 15 years old. It was basically like student and us. We were just like people from high school. We were just arriving and discovering this whole world. And then from there, I understood that would be the lead of my life. And I worked the summer after that, and I went in this electronic music shop in the same town, Caen, and I went straight to see the guy. I said, I want to make UK dub music. He said, I don't know what is.
We can say that it was like changing point in your career, in your mindset somehow.
I was just like a simple, I would say like French guy who just like my mother always pushed me to do music since I'm
you?
Yeah, like she wanted really to be creative, and she understood.
So she pushed you to play on some instruments as well?
Yeah, like since like musical awakening when I was 5 years old around, and after that playing saxophone first, and then bass.
Saxophone?
Yeah.
Really?
First I'm a saxophonist, and then I was a bass player. But I was trying to find people who to do things like as I was feeling them. But it's hard to work with other mind. And I discovered that through dub music and electro and UK dub music, I could make it on my own, just with machine. At the period, the computer was still a bit blur. Like computer was still hard to access, too expensive, and the software were a bit complex.
Yeah.
And then we had machine, and then I went to the shop and he said to me, well, I don't understand what you say about this kind of music, but I know what machine you need. And he showed me this machine, which is a Yamaha RS7000, which is a massive drum box, sequencer, sampler, and we do everything. And then I worked for 1 month, 2 months. And then with my first pay of my life, I went not to a shop, but I found it secondhand because it was so expensive. And I found on internet secondhand and I bought it. And from there, I started and I never stopped. In my room every night, trying where to put the snare, where to put the hi-hat and the drum, everything. And I found some people on the way, basically, who always helped me and made me progress really quick. And then it became
and here you are.
yes
and here you are that. I was about to ask you about your first experience with dub music, but you already told us that. And we already know that it sounds crazy. When you told us the story, I was imagining this kind of situation here in Poland where you've got weddings and all that stuff, and all the uncles with the mustache and all the stuff dancing to the sound system music. So okay. I'm really interested in history of your logo as well, because I see horse. I saw horse. So we see horse on this logo. Could you explain the story behind this? Because I imagine that it should be and it might be this interesting.
Like before, it's funny because my life until 14, 15 years old, between 5 years old to 15, was riding horses.
Really?
I was because I'm only one. I don't have like brothers or sisters. Then I was living in Normandy, which is like in France one of the biggest like horse region, like horse riding region. It's really culturally really important in this region forever. Then they've got like the World Cup there. They've got many things. Then riding horses is a bit like breathing in this region. Then I found that, and I was a horse rider for 11 years. And
11 years.
Yeah.
What? So the first you were forced to play some music, and in the meantime you were riding horses, and those two interesting things combined.
Like it's just because the love of animals. Like it's horses are really majestic beasts, and
they are.
Like my relation with horses helped me with my relation with humans, helped me to progress in life. And it was really, I was a farmer basically. I was working I was not working there, but I was working with animals, and I was living with them. We would like go 1 week away and just riding horses, and it was like a life of freedom. And then when dub arrived in my life, I started to take distance with horse when I started to connect myself with competition and becoming like more like maybe become more professional with like horses.
Riding horses.
Yes, but it's a world of money, and it's a world where it's hard. The animal become really quick a tool. Then I felt a bit like more distant, and music. And I felt like the rebellion started to arrive inside myself anyway, on different level at school. And then the music was like the solution, and was like a way to find peace inside. It was really something that I never had to see, because I really felt a lot in my life lost. I had not necessarily the easiest upbringing when I was a child. Few issues who were not like dramatical, but who were complex. And then I had to find a way to release and to find a way to be myself and to free myself from and then the music became like the lead, and sound system and the whole like discovery and humanly and musically and technically, because there is a lot. It's not just one thing. Is a whole culture and is a whole world, and that is what from there my life took sense as I wanted it to be. And then yeah, like I did live between 16 to 18. I was with my machine. I had the first name was the Dissident, and I was the Dissident.
Okay, before higher meditation.
Yeah.
Okay,
and I was doing live. I went until festival, but I was not really enjoying myself.
Higher meditation is born. We know him with Higher meditation now is born. We know him with his actual name. So let's listen to some of his actual music. So what changed in your mind and in your life that you decided to change your stage name as well?
I think it's the discovery of people like Jashaka of Iratian Stepas. The feeling that the creation is something, create dub is a thing, but it's not everything. There is way more. There is a message. There is a life around having a sound system and living in community, evolving with a crew, evolving with artists, playing other sounds. You know, it's not a competition, but it's a really intense event when you are like meeting another sound system, because you have a lot of sense. You know, we can translate that in many different ways. What is it to meet a sound system when you've got your own sound system? And then Jashaka, I think that this man, I never met a man in my life who gave so much sense, you know, for me and to my life about, you know, his struggle, his fight, his dedication, his career for me gave a sense to my life as we are rebels and we have a really massive role to have to bring peace in this world, but mental peace and physical peace to people through music and through the message, through the words.
I'm connecting your name with instrumental music, and I believe that the things that you are now describing are really really inside your music. But in the meantime, we can see your cooperation, for example, with Nia Songbird. Songbird, yes. Oh my God, sorry. I was like, do I say it right? So with Nia Songbird, do you feel that you will have the opportunity to create more things with singers, not only with her, but other singers as well?
Yeah, like I worked with Joshua Hells. I had a release with Joshua Hells. I had a release.
You've got 25 releases on Bandcamp, at least. That much I was
I start to lost a bit track, but I
really?
think like I've got, because after I would not say that, like, because I think I'm around like 15 physical release between 7, 10 and 12. But after that I did some limited edition, you know, like the world of releasing, it become like a bit more complex to be understood because musical world and the business evolve a lot. And,
you
know,
yes, that's right.
Sales change, then we have to change a bit the classical way to release music now change a bit. But I've got around 15 classic release, would say. And I've got featuring with Joshua Hells, Nia Songbird, with Michael Rose. I had the chance to work with Michael Rose from the group Black Uru, which is a Grammy Awards winner. Like it was really a great opportunity. Amazing. Then I've got like upcoming project with other singers. Now I work with a sitar player.
All right. I saw it on your Facebook page. I was about to ask you how he managed to sit there next to these barriers and people dancing, and still, because sitar requires sitting on the ground actually.
Life is really sometime mystical, because in my life, if I always wanted to work with one instrument, would have been sitar, because
why?
Because improvisator dub is my favorite dub band.
That was, and also it was your beginning.
And they had the period when they were playing, like in them during a period they were playing with a sitar player that I think carry on and still play in south of France with few sound system. Then when I could meet Lens, and the first time we played together, that he came with his sitar, we did some recording from distance because he was living in Spain during lockdown. Then he was messaging me. We worked together, did few work together, and then like he came back to UK, and I'm living in Leicester, and he live in Nottingham, which is 30 minutes in the north of Leicester, which is the next door.
Yeah.
And we started to work together and play. And and him coming to play live on my sound. And until like we played this year, we had the chance and the honor to be invited by Aeration Stepas to play at Subdub. And I brought him with me, and it was one of the best experience I had in my life, because he's so professional, and he know dub, and he know what to do, he know how to perform in live. And it's my role, it's my role to, like with Nia or with my MC Mr. Feelgood, it's my role to know exactly what I have to do for them to make them feel comfortable
and shine.
And shine, exactly. And the people to understand the message. And I'm looking forward to work, and I'm started to work with other singers locally or internationally. I try to open my I always worked with singers, but the reality is I'm an independent producer. I live with music and making dubs. I don't want to make weight singers. You know, sometimes work, it's so much work, it's so much thing to mix, it's so much things to do sometimes, and I don't want people to think that I forget them or I don't consider them. Then when I will do a project, I want to really have the time to record them, then or they record, then I mix, then we put the project out, which is at the moment something that it's complex, because I've got a lot of background music and and this is why
and so on.
But I've got plenty of idea, plenty of beautiful singer from the old to the new generation. At the moment, I'm honest with you, as you said earlier, I'm working with Nia, and Nia is one of the gifts that life brought to me. She is a beautiful singer. She's my friend. She's someone with who we did 100 things together. We traveled together. This year we went to Switzerland, to Germany. We play in UK in general. When the sound is playing, she's there. And then we had the release last year, and then I just sent to press the next release on the label with a song called We Are Warrior, which is a song that I play for years now, that a lot of people are waiting, that they message me, and they are ready to pay me big money to have like just
one copy,
just the vocals of that, just the audio bit. I give you what you want, and I'm like, no, you know, it's just question of time. It's question of time, and now it's the time. The time is now. We will release the song. And I hope that this song will get the support as I got it until today as a dub plate, and on the B-side it would be more an heavy dub, because I like to just balance all the time, like both sides, and have like two different kind of style to basically please everyone, because you know people love different things.
That's true.
Exactly. You know, like don't trying to be open and always proposing different thing and trying to make different thing to propose different thing, and this is a bit that
So since we know that the creating of music took time, and it's taking a lot of time, could you tell me how the workflow of doing your music looks like? So how you're getting your inspiration, then bringing up to the studio and turning it into the sound?
I'm working really emotionally with the music. I'm not overproducing music, which means I'm not producing music every day, but I produce a lot of music, which means it will really depend on my mood. It can be a really good mood, or it can be a really bad mood. It depends.
In both, you are able to cope your feelings into music. All right.
It's always a lot of always waves of emotions who will push me to express myself, and it was always the case. It's hard to explain, but at the end, he bring because I evolve, and at the end, he give like in my music. I feel that it was just different period and evolution in my music as in my life, because for me music is I always need to, I talk a lot, but it's not enough. I need to express myself more, and I feel that through sometime drum, bass, or melody, I will uh, Nickel myself. This is my workflow. It's just helping
feelings.
Yes.
Okay.
And mixing after that, that is more the creation side. Mixing, it asks a bit more of like commitment and resilience.
Oh, right. Resilience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's weirdly, it's really enjoyable to mix music, but like there is technical preparation, but there is some mental preparation on the top too, because at the end, how you work, and you will always just become more precise and more precise.
Okay.
But mentally, you always at the same state of adapting on yourself. On will it be good? Is it the good moment
so
to do it?
You still have the imposter syndrome? It sounds like it.
Like?
Imposter syndrome, like you are doubting yourself.
Yeah, I think that doubting is not it's more like, is it the great time? Is it the good time?
So you are not doubting your abilities of creating music, but rather than if this is a correct period of time.
It's just like everything is just because when you record or when you mix, I believe we work in a digital time, but I use a lot of analog equipment. Then like my mixing desk, all my effect, everything. Just my computer and my sound card are my two digital, would say, part of my music. But a lot of things are still really physical. And when I record people, obviously, they are in the rooms, in my room.
Right.
What is recorded is not just music.
It's all the feeling from the room.
Yeah, it's emotion,
Okay.
Then mixing is emotion too, When you listen King Tubby music, you listen King Tubby emotions, because how we mix the music.
I never thought about this like that.
Because there is emotion we are going through. It's even if it become a work and you have to, but some album didn't become the albums they became just because of music. It's because there is a lot of emotion, I believe so. I believe that there is a human side. We can't just I love technique, I love equipment, but I don't reduce everything to equipment. I don't think that it's just the equipment to make the music.
Less is more.
If we were knowing all your favorite dubs that you love from the dub period, if you were knowing sometime how they were mixed and the kind of equipment they were mixed on, you would be surprised. Where sometimes you see this video of today with all this massive equipment.
Yeah, exactly.
20 years ago in UK, they didn't have all this equipment too. It was way more expensive. And still they were doing it because they were pioneers inside that. Where today, there is a bit more money, there is more access, obviously, all internet. Exactly. Then but that is obviously by living in UK, then I could obtain all this information about, at the end, it's not just necessary equipment. It's people, it's people. There is people, and that is basically what I'm following. I've got the equipment, but we can all have the equipment today. Everyone can know how to have the equipment.
Not everyone have this correct way of catalyzation of the emotions.
It's a real. It's not just a technique. It's just will you put yourself inside that?
Okay.
Will you? What point? What part of yourself are you putting inside? Are you just thinking about just technically what are doing, or are you thinking about are you seeing something when you close your eyes? Are you seeing things? Are you when you feel your music, when you listen to it, when you touch your desk, what are you feeling? Then I think that this is that who is for me important is emotion, because I work on emotion.
Emotions is something that every one of us is feeling, every one of us is having. So let's evoke some emotions with higher meditation music. Listen to another track. can, how to say it, compare somehow French scene to UK scene. And I was about to ask you about your mind and think about about condition of the scene generally, about condition of the dub roots music scene. Do you think it's growing still, or it's collapsing somehow?
I like, it's a great question. Like today, me, what I see is since would say honestly 2008 9, I see it growing. I see it growing and growing. I don't think that it will stop to grow because of how to access of music today. Like the music is becoming, and you've got some artists who are breaking the barriers, like for to open to more people. I think in our community. I think it will carry on to grow. What can change? It would be the first generation had a really strong message, spiritual and religious message. With that, with the time will maybe evolve because it will be universalized, and today it can be transformed.
Okay.
Obviously today there will be like the well-being or the nature or many things which in the beginning was a black man's struggle for freedom, then was universalized by Jashaka, by, playing music from everyone, from more producer, from his message touched everyone because this message and this struggle become universal for every color of skin, every creed, there is a real mental slavery today was created by our system, and that it become, I don't think that will disappear. That will not disappear because we are rebels, but there will be things will change because generations are evolving and struggles are different. Would the struggle lived by the first generation of sound system in UK will be never reproduced in other places because
in Europe,
of there are people who are coming from the Windrush generation, who were like coming from a colonialized country, who lived slavery, and that it will be never the same. These people are a testimony of what is and what the system, how it corrupted it could be. And today we are lucky to have these people to show us the way of there is an issue and we have to carry on to fight this problem, and I would always be thankful to have been alive and see and behold someone like Jashaka, who really taught us a lot of things about life and about respect and about dedication. Seeing the man play 7 hours without any break at the age he was, and giving so much of himself to everyone that was really one of the greatest gifts that we could, behold and witness in our life.
I don't know if I can ask you any more questions. Actually, you answered all my questions. So the last thing is, of course, beside I can thank you, of course, for being our guest. I can also ask you about your favorite artist. Your favorite artist.
My favorite artist. That is it's a good question. I would say that my life is based on few artists, my way of living. Obviously there will be Jashaka for the wholeness of what he is, and he was, but he is, after that I would say Vibronix because he is
really?
Vibronix and the Boniel music was like something that so unique. This the work he did with like Boniel is one of my favorite female singers. Then I would say Vibronix, then Alpha and Omega, because of the spiritual strength, of the music and the mysticism around it. like I would say, for the last one, disciple for the work, and
Okay.
the dedication to making music for Jashaka and leading the way of the Jashaka killer, and creating, of the music, because he existed in roots, but Disciple brought the Jashaka killer dubs, like the
Okay.
digital dubs,
All right.
and his work and how the master he is, in his craft, But again, Vibronix is someone who helped me all my career for the last 9 years. 9 years ago, when I arrived in UK, 2015, it was in March. October, I received a message from Steve, and he proposed to me to come to meet him at his studio.
Amazing.
And he said to me,
it was like a changing point in your
yeah,
career.
yeah. But like that, is really important. This is why I want to say
All
that
right.
because it's really important.
Okay.
Then to show how Vibronix is a great man and a great artist and someone who is giving. He is always giving.
Okay.
He is someone who is talented, over talented, who is really humble about it, who taught me everything that I know. If people see me as a good man today, if they do, is because of this man, because he taught me everything about how to behave and how to be, because he is someone who loves people and he respects people and he understands the world he's living in. And I respect him a lot, for everything he does for me or everything he does in general for the dub community all around. Then 2015 March, I arrived in UK, and in October, he messaged me and he proposed to me to come for a meeting. He said, well, come at the studio. And I said, okay. And arriving there, then he said to me, well, I just finished to mix my last album. It was at this period, Return of Vibronix, with the famous song Searching for Jah of Michael Prophet.
Yeah.
And he said, well, I've got my studio now, it's like 15 years I've got my studio, and I always dream to think one day my studio will be ready and finished. And he said, I think it's the day.
Okay.
And I always wanted to help, because, life helped me, then I want to help people,
Okay.
Then he said, I'm not there during the weekend. I'm out, playing, as you know. I said, yeah, you tour the world, 2 times a year. And I'm like, and he said to me, well, I give you the keys of the studio, and then you come every weekend when you want, and you do what you want.
Really?
And that was 9 years ago.
Okay.
And I still have the keys of the studio
I understand
today.
why you are saying that it was. Are you agreeing that it was
and
your changing point?
Yeah, and he helped me for my label. He helped me for many things, for everything, for my mastering, for everything. Then I can just be thankful to Steve, because he is someone who do a lot, and not just for himself. And that is the real essence of why we do that. We do that for the people. We rise and we help someone, you rise up and you help someone
to rise up as well.
Yeah, man, this is that,
So this phrase, let's final this conversation, and thank you so much.
Thank you to you.
Thank
you for the invitation.
Thank you.
So,
my fellow Dub Tribers, that was a journey, wasn't it? It was a real pleasure to have and host Higher Meditation in this podcast, in this place, which is Dub Tribe, of course. And thanks to the Ashwagundub crew, and they invited Higher Meditation to Poznań. It was really, really, really amazing session. It was really amazing opportunity to have a chance to talk to Higher Meditation in person. Also, during this interview, we mentioned the newest vinyl with Nia Songbird, and you can it's up and running, and you can go and buy it. Please support them. Please support your artists that are building the scene. They need us, and they need our support, and they are doing music for us. So please go and buy some music from them. It will be really, really nice. Speaking about the support, you can come to our social media platforms, which is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. and support us as well. Please share this interview. Please comment this interview, like, subscribe. It will be really nice to, and it will really help us growing. But if you would like to support us financially, you can buy us a coffee through Buy Me a Coffee portal. All the links will be in the description. So not to worry, you can find us. And at the end, I'm leaving you with the final piece of music just from Haya Meditation, and it's amazing. So thank you one more time for tuning in, for playing this push button and pushing this play button. Thank you guys for being here, supporting us. It's really important for us, and thank you so much for building with us this community, amazing community of the Tribers. So have a nice day, be safe, stay warm during these times, and speak to you soon, guys.